Be strong.
For the first time this season, Velocity Online Racing is on a road course, and this one sits just to the east of Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama, and is a track that has been well designed, and some call the masters of road courses. And what I mean by that is the scenery and the just the awesomeness, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, of Barber Motorsports Park, as we welcome you in to race number 3 of this Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series presented by Raceverse. It is the Formula Indy Series Grand Prix of Barber. I am the captain. Welcome into one of 2 races you're going to see this evening as we start here on the road course at Barber Motorsports Park as we get ready for race number 3 of 9 in the season on this 2.27 mile racetrack here in just outside of Birmingham, Alabama, I should say, in the city or town of Leeds is technically where it's at, but pretty much just outside the Talladega area. 78 degrees, ambient temp, 110 on the track, and we are going to see lots of elevation changes and so much more this evening, and a very, very fun track, a very technical track, and only the best are going to come out here, I think, tonight with a victory in this race. And we have seen some wild racing so far this season. As we take a look at the race information, this is your Barber Motorsports Park track. The red area on the track, that is where the start zone will be for the race tonight. 60 laps they will do on this road course. Speed limit 44 miles an hour. The main passing zone is mentioned there, turn 5. That is right in the middle of the track, basically right there. They come through a winding, almost 180 degree corner that's has a lot of elevation change to it, and down a straightaway that leads to another hairpin left-handed corner that sets up that corner and sets up the potential pass for you on this 15 turn, 10 rights, 5 lefts, and so much more. As you see, turn 14 to turn 2, if that looks familiar to you, yes, it does have a little bit of a Mid-Ohio look to it. So the pit road and everything almost exact to Mid-Ohio. So you're going to see a lot of familiarity with this track and so much more. Let's take a look at the schedule for, of course, the racing tonight. Barber Motorsports Park. Next week, we go to Phoenix, the Legacy Track 2008, and we'll have 150 laps there. Then we go to Texas Motor Speedway, and then our final road course of the season at Road America, Pocono, Indianapolis, and Las Vegas will round out the 9-race schedule. And after 2 weeks, we got a pretty tight paddle on our hands. Looking at the points, Turn 4 Racing's A.J. Musselman leads right now over Shane Coogan by 1 point. Isaac Morris is 13 behind in third. Gavin Sanders, Cohen Evans, Krista Nelson doing a great job there. She is in the 6th position. Matt Houston, Dakota DeMed, Nicholas Sadiq, and Craig Forsyth, your top 10 right now in the points standings as we enter this 3rd race of the season. So, as I mentioned, this race tonight is brought to you by the Formula Indy Series, which is a brand new league being ran by Matt Houston, Dakota DeMed, It's an iRacing league that will start on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m., which will feature a mixture of IndyCar and F1 circuits. 37 signups for the first season, and of course, Raceverse will be broadcasting the race. And our good friend Gary Godso, who joins us on Tuesday nights for the wow, I just went brain dead. TI IndyCar Series. He's going to be doing those broadcasts and stuff coming up in just a week or two when they get started here, May 4th, actually. So it's like 3 weeks away, actually, Skala. But, hey, who's counting? But that should be a lot of fun when that series kicks off here in just a couple of weeks. So make sure if you're interested in a Formula 1 / IndyCar series, that might be the way for you to go there. But tonight, all about road course racing and an IndyCar in a series that is predominantly ovals, which is going to make for some interesting racing. Now tonight, no tire rule in effect, so you can run the alternate red, you can run the primary black tire, but there is no rule like you normally see on Tuesday nights in the TI Racing Series. So that is going to lead to some interesting strategy here this evening. So let's take it down to the track here. We're about 6 minutes into a 15-minute qualifying session, as you see on the board right now, as it always seems to do this to me in qualifying. But Alex Van de Santa leads this thing. In qualifying here, so I'm actually going to pull up the cameras. There we go. As we look at Craig Forsyth out on the track right now. As I say that, Dakota DeMed goes to the pole. As we have 8 minutes left in qualifying, and right on cue, Craig spins out for me. Nice job, Craig. Let's go out here and take a look at some of the cars out here running laps. Cohen Evans, he's out on track tonight. He missed the race earlier this week and now returns tonight. Looking to get himself a good finish this evening, as these guys are all racing for that pole award. Something here. Don't mind me. You watch Cohen comes through that final turn 14. Oh, he goes off track. That's going to hurt his lap there. Oh, and that's going to hurt even more. You see the back end of that car all torn up when it's over with. Now, they're going for this. They're going for the pole award tonight, which of course will help you get the obviously the best starting position on pit road and stuff. But the pole award tonight is of course presented by CircleBDiecast.com. If you use the code word Foxworth Autosport to get free shipping on orders over $20 at CircleBDiecast.com to get great NASCAR and IndyCar diecast. They do ship to the continental U.S. and Canada. That is what they are racing for this evening. Right now it is Julian Altina, who has now gone to the pole. He was very excited to get himself on this track this evening. Just looking for some other cars that might be on track here. Looks like everybody right now off track. No, I'm actually in a scenic camera. That's what happened. I just got fooled. There's Isaac Morris. Isaac, the champion from last season. And if you were watching last night's race in the Blown Piston Racing League, you might have noticed the debut of our new cameras, of course, presented by TrackCam for Gourmets. You can check them out at trackcam22.com. They have oval, road course, and dirt cameras, not to mention fan experiences and VR experiences. So, like, you could actually be sitting in the crowd watching a race, that type of camera setup. So, make sure you check them out. We're actually featuring those cameras here tonight with the Barber Motorsports Park and also on the Indy cars. So you're going to see a lot of new features during the race tonight and into the future, thanks to track cams for Gourmets. I keep saying track cams for Gourmets. So make sure you check out trackcams22.com. There's also a link there in the info page of the YouTube page. So make sure you check them out tonight. Here's Gavin Sanders out on track, the number 10 car. Let's bring up the qualifying numbers here. As you see Isaac right now purple in sector number 2, as Isaac is actually 21st fastest right now as he goes through the turn 13-14 section of this track. And Isaac goes P2, I think I saw. He is P2, 107.75. A good lap for that number 1, that VOR car. Here's that sweeping turn 2 and 3, as I mentioned. All the way down the straightaway down here to turn number 5, which right here is probably the best passing zone you're going to see all night. Long straightaway down here, and then they go on to another straightaway before they head over to the museum section of this track, which features a blinding chicane right there. Museum over to our stage left there. They're all but wide open through that chicane. Over the hill. And as Gavin Sanders goes to second right now, Isaac not his fastest lap. Let's check out Gavin here, as he looks like he's on a burner. Purple here, sector 1. Gavin staying yellow so far. Gavin comes down the final corner here, crosses the line, and stays third, 4/10 off. Oscar Fredrickson also on track right there behind him. He crosses the line. He is in the 9th position. The only 2 cars not to qualify so far on a lap, Kristen Alagio and the point leader, AJ Musselman. Ooh, Oscar a little tail happy into turn 5. That's going to cost his lap. You see him kind of slow up now as he kind of gives it up there, as we got about a minute and a half left. So if anybody's going to get out there and try another lap, they're only going to get one or so to get this done. And I don't see anybody else really going out on track right now. So it looks like we might be witnessing the end of qualifying here, as most of the cars have turned in their laps. Isaac Morris right now looks like he's going to be on the pole. Now, they had 4 laps and 15 minutes to complete, and everybody has pretty much, all but 2 cars have run all their qualifying laps to get in to this race. Oscar going back out right now. I don't think this is going to count for anything, because he has run, well, he'd be coming up on his 4th lap right now. If he can get to the line somehow, he's got a shot. Very fast and blinding chicane on this track. Now, Barber Motorsports Park was thought to be a motorcycle course, but they brought the Indy cars here, and it has been a fun race to watch each and every year when they've come. Last year, obviously, they didn't make it here to the track because of COVID, but tomorrow afternoon they will actually make the return to as Oscar comes to pit road. So that's it. Qualifying is over, and the pole sitter of the race will be Isaac Morris, as he will score the Pole Awards. Congratulations to him on his lap. And now everybody, of course, will grid. There you see everybody lining up right now. And Isaac Morris will get the Circle B Diecast.com Pole Award. If you give me 1 second, I will have the logo. There you go. Circle B, a big version of it. It's actually going to get shrunk up and move it to the bottom here. But there you go. Use that code Foxworth Autosports, and you will get 20. Make sure I get that right. On orders over $20, you'll get free shipping by using Foxworth Autosports to get free shipping on orders over $20 at CircleBDiecast.com. If you want to get NASCAR and IndyCar diecasts, which continue to ship in the U.S. and Canada. So Isaac Morris wins the pole. Appreciate you getting that to me, Robert. That's called acting on the fly, for those who don't know. Basically, when it's all over with. Acting on the fly, we just did right there. Isaac Morris wins the pole, 107.329. He'll start next to Julian Altena there in P number 2. I'm hearing a little bit of an issue going on with settings, apparently, for the race. Gavin Sanders will start next to Dakota DeMed on row number 2. Alex Van de Sant, Cohen Evans, row number 3. Nicholas Sadiq and Matt Houston, row number 4. Oscar Fredrickson and Christian Jasper, the 0G Autosport 67, will start in row number 5. Thomas Geisler, Shane Coogan, row 6. Row number 7 consists of, work with me, thank you, Craig Forsyth and Austin Saar. Joe Harlman, the Grand Primo Esports number 20, will start next to Michael Schoonert. Tyler Coogan and Jim Herrick will start in row number 9. Good to see Jim back out here on the track. Jim loves running road course races. Good to see him here this evening. Lewis Woodall, Benjamin Combs will be in row number 10. Row 11, Antonio Estrada and Anthony Concha in row number 11. Row 12, Kristen Nelson and the point leader, AJ Musselman, going to start back in 24th. I'm guessing this is a planned strategy. AJ more of an oval driver, but he's going to do his best out here on the road course this evening. Row number 13, the final driver on the grid, Christian Alagio, in the 25th position. There will be 60 laps tonight. As I mentioned, no tire rule tonight. That is over in the iRacing League. As you know, they do have to run the prime and the alternates tonight. They can run whatever they want. They can do all their laps on primes, all their strategy on alternates, which, as you're seeing, majority of them are on the alternates in this race. So, push to pass will be in play also as they go through the final chicane here before they head towards the front straightaway. And we get this race underway this evening. Appreciate all the viewers watching tonight. It's been an awesome week of racing. Night number 6 in a row of racing here on Captain TV. And tonight we get 2 races. Over through the turn 12, 13, and 14 section of the track before they come to the green flag and get this one underway. Right on board with Isaac. So they go through the final 2 corners here again. That red zone is on the front straightaway, the start zone, as they are calling it. Through turn 14, they'll come to the green flag with Isaac Morris, Julian Altena, Gavin Sanders, and Dakota DeMed leading them to the green. It is the Formula Indy Series Grand Prix at Barber, green from Barber. Oh, one car spinning off back there. Is that Austin Sarr? He has gone around, locks it down. The Fanatic number 4 is spun around turn 1. And looks like we continue on. Everybody on the alternate red tires. Look at the tire lockup from all these cars. They come up to the second chicane on the track right here. A quick left, right, over the hill to turn number 12 and 13. Somebody spinning in the back. Christian Jasper has gone around over here. And another car spins with damage. A lot of cars spun out over here. The 13 of Lewis Woodall also. Kristen Nelson is spun. A lot of action going on here as Isaac Morris does lead lap number 1, already to turn number 5. Get settled out here as we watch Schunert make a move inside of Jim Herrick. That is not Jim Herrick. It's the car in front of Jim Herrick, Joe Harleman. Oh, as Estrada spins there at the bottom of the screen. A lot of cars having issues here. Do not want to go side by side here through the museum section. Unless you're Graham Rahal a couple years ago. Still one of the most lunatic moves I think I've ever seen. Herrick going to go back by Schunert here. Oh, and Herrick drives it over that curve. The turn 13 and 14 section of this really, really awesome track to watch a race at. This is one I got to get to one day. All right, so we're going to try to go back here and show you some of these accidents that happened. Let's start with this big one. Actually, no, let's start with the green flag here with Austin Sarr, who goes off track turn 1 here. Locking of the brakes, and the 20 gets into him of Joe Harleman. Locks it down there, no damage done to the 4 car. Unfortunate break on that situation. And then we come up here to where Lewis Woodall has an issue. Goes off track, goes for a little bit of a ride, corrects it, and oh, he noses it right into that Armco barrier. And there's another car spun over there to his left. That's Christian Jasper, and I believe also Krista Nelson has problems over in this corner too. So turn 14 not being too kind to a lot of drivers on lap number 1 of this race. Lewis Woodall is right now still on pit road, and Krista Nelson also behind the wall. Right now trying to get the damage fixed on that car. Go back here to this battle for the 3rd position. Now Gavin Sanders and Alex Van de Sant. See the tire smoke there from the car in front there. Not sure who that was. Ride again with Alex. A lot more onboard cameras we're going to be able to present to you now with the camera set we're using. We're looking forward to showing you all the cool experiences of the IndyCar. Got the old school camera, sorta. A little different version of it. Also going to have a rear wing camera here for you to check out in case there's any battles behind. You can see the pipes there, the mufflers there, and just all the heat coming off, and you can see the car just kind of, you see all the heat right there on the tires. So many things to offer you now in our new experience here on Captain TV. Again, this is thanks to our good friends at Track Cams for Gourmets. And this battle for second starting to shape up here. Julian Altena, his teammate Gavin Sanders, Alex Van de St. Cohen Evans, all right here. Julian was tweeting out earlier on his old Twitter account. He was saying, hey, I'm looking forward to this race tonight. This is been waiting to get on this road course and have some fun. And you see he's doing it right now. Krista Nelson still having issues as she's trying to get back on the track. She has jumped back to pit road, fortunately. All this happening about 2 seconds behind Isaac Morris. About 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th here. Joel Harrelman, Jim Herrick, Michael Schooner, Benjamin Combs. As you can see, 60 laps, as I mentioned, already 6 in the books. The laps around here just a little over a minute. Is this a very quick and windy road course? Turn 1 and the very windy turn 2. Look at the elevation. You go downhill and you come on back uphill. Turn 4 right here. Can't even see the corner. If you do not get a run out of that corner, you could lose your momentum there into turn 5, which this is the passing zone we were talking about. Locking up, a lot of cars locking up the brakes, trying not to flat spot a tire. Still doing a solid job. Good to see him back on the track. He has not raced much here at the beginning of this season. He has been focusing on some business stuff, taking care of things. Little fight starting to battle here. The Dakota DeMed car, the Sunset Arctic Games, race first, number 82. Gets a look from Oscar Fredrickson here to the inside. There at turn 5, both of them taking a different approach into the corners. They come up to the museum chicane. You do not want to be side by side here, as I mentioned earlier. Oscar's going to take the spot away. Dakota lets him have it. Nothing wrong with that. And problems for the point leader, AJ Musselman. I'm guessing that AJ is really struggling here in this road course, unfortunately. Let's see. Oh, he goes to the left here. He pulls it off the track and just tows it. A tough break there for the points leader. As Isaac completes lap number 8. 2.7 seconds right now over Julian Altena and Gavin Sanders, Alex Van de St. Cohen Evans, all these guys here. Isaac been fighting a little bit of a wrist injury as of late. Injured it a couple weeks, or about a week or so ago in a race. It was actually, was it earlier this week? I don't know, all my days come together anymore. But he was racing, made contact with a car, and it's force feedback, yanked the hand out of his wheel. Now wheel out of his hand, and caused a little bit of like a jamming in his wrist or something. So I'm not sure if it's fully healed or at least feeling better, but Isaac been kind of racing one-handed a little bit. as he puts a lap on the Anthony Concha number 64 car. As Shane Coogan makes the passes, Craig Forsyth puts a couple wheels off. The Blue Blazer, I guess we'll call him down there or something. I'm not sure that photo there. Of course, the Blue Blazer, a wrestler portrayed by Owen Hart that unfortunately was killed in a horrific wrestling accident back in 1999. As I always say, if you're watching on chat tonight, feel free to say hi or whatever on the stream. I don't mind giving shout-outs out or asking if anybody has questions or whatever. As we watch Michael Schubert get attacked by Benjamin Combs here in that, I guess that would be a green and yellow 55 car? Or 59, yeah, 55. A lot of cars locking up tires and one car off the pace here. That's Musselman, who's just getting out of the way of everybody. I think Musselman's running my Nürburgring strategy. I've had people ask me, hey, do you want to run Nürburgring? I'm like, yeah, I'll stick it in second gear and run it that gear the whole time. They'll just go around me. So strategy-wise here, I would think this is probably close to a one-stop strategy, if not two. We'll know here pretty quickly. If you can get to lap 20 or so on fuel, which I would think you can, you'd come in for fuel at that point and then pit at lap 40 and get you to the finish at lap number 60. As I mentioned, this league predominantly an oval series, so a lot of these guys might not be so used to running on a road course. That's why you're seeing Isaac kind of run away with this thing right now. Isaac is good on pretty much any track. Gavin Sanders continuing to follow his teammate Julian Altada. Looking back at Alex Van de Sande, who almost puts two wheels off there in the grass. Now, that is one heck of a name of burrito company. Double apex turn 5, and yes, that is a spider statue in the background there you're seeing. I mentioned 2 weeks ago we were in where did we race that last week? 2 weeks ago. Michigan. I mean to mention that, get ready for a spider and hopefully you're not an arachnophobe. As you see, Ben Harleman is multitasking tonight. See where Joel Harleman is. There he is in the 20 car. They're doing a pretty good job right now in the 13th position. And how about this one? We haven't showed you this one yet. The helmet cam. Yes, we have a helmet cam. What you're seeing is the vibration from the face visor right here in front of you. McMullen is not out here. I don't see his name at least. There's that spider. So Joel right now running about 5 seconds off Craig Forsyth right now. Morris making Isaac made a pass on teammate there. Antonio Estrada making him a lap down. Next car will be Christian Alesio, who started in the back also tonight. Alex Van de Sant going purple last time by, a 108.3. So great lap there for that. Somebody's smoking up there in front of Isaac. Who was that? Was that Tyler Coogan? Said he was off track, that's why I asked. The Happy Trails Chili Mix, number 17 of Alex Van de Sant. Isaac over the bumps here and going to go around Christian Alesio right there around the double hairpin turn 14. Shows you a little bit of the elevation change you see on this track. Let's go back here. The battle for third is on as Julian Alton lost second place to Gavin Sanders a second ago, and now trying to hold off Alex Van de Sant for third. Let's go back and see the pass by the teammate here, Sanders. Move to the inside, down to, the second chicane there. Now it's a daring move and made the move. Julian worked with him. And teammates working with each other there to make the pass happen. As we're back live, Alex trying to get past Julian here. Cohen Evans back there behind them. Oscar Fredrickson also, as the lap traffic starting to play a role here. We'll start seeing what strategy we're going to have for tonight's race. When will these alternate red tires fall off the map? As more issues for AJ Musselman, he is towed back to pit road. Doing everything he can to preserve his point lead, but right now he would lose it. The museum back there in the background. Go through the turn 14 section of the track here and back onto the front straightaway. Julian able to hold off Alex right now by 0.4 of a second. Anthony Concha with issues over here. This is the turn 1 and 2 section over here, the long hairpin corner. Just trying to get a good camera view on him. There he is. The 64 has gone around. Anthony's trying to get himself clear. Look out. Nice job by everybody to make sure he was able to clearly get back on the track. And well done by Anthony to, I know it was scary, but when you're in that spot, it's very tricky to make a move like that. So shout out to Anthony for doing a great job getting back on track safely there, or as safe as he could. How many times we've been in an official session and all of a sudden somebody just darts out in front of you after they spin out because there's so much in a rush. Go back to that battle for third. On the straightaway here, Alex not on push to pass. He still has 9 left. Julian has all 10 left right now. As Gary Godso joins us, hearing he went to a birthday party today apparently or something. Last time I witnessed a birthday party, I saw a young kid smack a wrestler with a newspaper. And then kind of broke the news that his birthday was 2 weeks ago. Before that. Kind of a weird scene there. Forward to Alex, still not push to pass, but trying to draft up on Julian into turn 1 here. Great fight going on here. First gear corner, you see Julian slide a little wide, double apex corner right there. Almost a triple apex when you count turn 4 right here, because you're almost staying like in one corner there. Down to the left-hander, turn 5. You can almost treat this like a double apex corner, the way it's shaped up. Museum chicane here. See how blinding it is right there. If you've never been on this track before and you go into that corner, you got a surprise coming. You don't realize, oh, well, there's a right, left, right there. Not to mention it's so blinding and downhill that the right front tire will sometimes come off the ground right there. You got this other chicane right here. This one a little more forgiving as you actually have curbs you can use. Track a favorite amongst drivers. So this battle continues on. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's check back here. How about Nicholas Sudik here, the Taco Bell number 87 car, running 10th, started in the 7th position. Nicholas running about 22 seconds back right now as we have 17 cars on the lead lap in this race. And again, next week, it's back to the ovals, but to a vintage oval. As you know, before Phoenix was updated, there was the vintage Phoenix Raceway, which had the grass, and the dog leg was not as sharp, and some fantastic IndyCar racing back in the 80s and 90s. Well, we're going back to that style of Phoenix Raceway next week. A little bit of a throwback type of setup there, with the way the race will be. Oh, issues for Shane Coogan. He's gone off. The 29 Raceverse car has spun her out turn 5. Shane going to fall back. And we got pit stops happening, oh, by the way, right at lap 20, as mentioned. We'll get you some pit times here. I looked up and saw a bunch of in on my telemetry, which tells me these cars are in the pits. Isaac Morris, the leader's in. Julian Alton has come to pit road. Also Van de Sant, Gavin Sanders, Dakota DeMay, and Oscar Fredrickson. As you see, Morris off with an 8.4 second pit stop and back to the alternates. So obviously this is going to be broken up into a 2-stop race. And that hands the lead to Cohen Evans here in the 37 car, the winner at Homestead Miami Speedway. First career start, I believe, in this league. Went to victory lane. Got his first career win. Cohen going to stay out another lap. See if he tries to endure the Isaac Morris / Lewis Hamilton strategy here and go as fast as you can go and try to get purple laps. Last time by, he ran at 08.8. I see the 64 letting him go by. There's Shane Coogan letting him go by. Oh, and Shane spins right in front of a car. Right in front of the leaders. And he does a great job of saying, I gotta get out of here. Spins it off the track, and then it's like, all right, I'll go figure it out now. So Cohen leads Matt Houston by 8 seconds, 8.6 in this Formula Indy Series. Formula Indy Series Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park here in Alabama. We welcome you into Captain TV if you just joined us. Doubleheader of racing coming up this evening. This is race number 1 as Matt Houston comes to pit road. Cohen Evans stays out. Thomas Geisler coming to pit road also in the 18. As I mentioned, this portion of the track, when you think about it, if you shut your eyes, it just, I mean, you really can't see it, but just think about what Mid-Ohio looks like and look at Barber. This turn 14 to turn 1 reminds me so much of Mid-Ohio. A little more elevation change, but everything else is Mid-Ohio. As Cohen's on push to pass right now, as he's trying to stretch out as far of a lead as he can to try to pit and gain some position with an overcut. As Houston leaves pit road right in front of Jim Herrick. Here's Cohen. And Cohen's going to stay out another lap here. Cohen last time by a 108.5. Looking at Isaac Morris, a 109.20 last time by as Nicholas Sadiq comes to pit road. He's coming in hot, and he hits the inside wall over at pit road. That's one way to get yourself redirected. Takes the wing off. And just for you, Gary, we have a one-winged angel. Sadiq, Harleman, Jim Herrick on pit road. The second chicane here up the hill as Cohen comes up in the back of Craig Forsyth. Craig running in the 13th position right now. Does Cohen come this time by? He does. Got himself into traffic there and figured instead of fighting Cohen, come at this point in the race. Let's see now where he transitions as he pits about 20 seconds ahead of Isaac Morris. Isaac right now is over in the hill section, coming over into turn 13 and 14 right now. Except one person. There's Isaac coming down the front straightaway. He'll take the lead back here. Let's see where Cohen comes out, though. Cohen leave a nice little burnout. And look at this. Cohen is actually going to jump Julian Altena. So a big overcut by Cohen Evans. As a matter of fact, what happened to Gavin Sanders? Gavin spent a minute on pit road, so we have to review what happened there. He had a 57-second pit stop, spent a minute and a half on pit road, so not sure if he had a big-time penalty or something. But let's go back and see if we can review. Oh, this might be part of it. Goes off right here. That slows him down. Nothing terrible. That's going to play a role into it. I'm trying to find it in my time stuff here. Let's go back and watch this as Gavin Sanders is going to come to pit road. We're going to rewind it a little bit here. Ah, he did the same thing Sadiq did. Comes down into turn 14, goes too hot, and whammo into the wall. And that's why he spent a minute on pit road, unfortunately, and lost all that track position. So a tough break for Gavin. Running all the way back in the 11th spot right now. Isaac Morris's lead is 6.5 seconds over Alex Van de Sant and Cohen Evans. Cohen about 12 seconds back in the third spot. As here's Isaac putting a lap on one of his teammates there. Yeah, it's the 74 of Antonio Estrada. As we are 3 laps from the halfway point in this race. There's the old Spiders. There's Isaac right there. Looking pretty focused, I'd say, in that car. Get you a good different angle, a little bit of the chicanes that they're going through. Isaac's coming through right here. Get you a little bit of different angles out here with these new cameras. And again, shout out to TrackCam 4 Gourmets for allowing me to put these cameras on. You can go to trackcams22.com if you want to check out these cameras. You could use them for personal use. Matter of fact, I believe Gary Godso uses them when he broadcasts with me. Definitely worth the product and stuff. Turn 1, turn 2, 3, and 4 as Isaac comes up on some more lap traffic. There's Austin Saar right there in front of him in the 4 car. Austin going to be the next victim of the Isaac Morris train. And this is right here why they call this track the Masters of Racetracks. If you ever watch the golf outing of the Masters, the tournament, some say it's one of the most beautiful scenes you'll ever see is springtime at the Masters with everything blooming and stuff. Well, look at the way this track is. One car off over to the left there. That was Sudi, I think. That was Gavin Sanders, actually. You saw him go by right there. So Gavin having even more issues right now as he goes by Austin Saar to put him a lap down. I mean, with the design and all the statues of the track or of the different animals and creatures of havoc. You got the hill. Look at that hill over there that you can go over and watch turn 1 and 2. It's such a cool track. And back here, there's a couple Spiders. Battle going on here with Julian Alton and Matt Houston as they're down the front straightaway here into turn 1. Matt's got a pretty good run here, probably on push to pass. He's actually not. Goes to the outside, power move, Graham Rahal style to the outside as Julian locks him up. So Julian falls back to the 6th position. And let's go back here to 8th. Thomas Geisler, the 18 car. We haven't really said his name all night. Doing a great job in this Race vs. Sunset Arctic Games number 18. Yeah, you know when the Masters is coming up when all of a sudden you hear Jim Nantz. Ooh, little lock up there. Jim Nantz starts saying the tradition unlike any other. Last year it literally was the tradition unlike any other. They had the outing in November. Tradition unlike any other. A golf tournament in November. And issues for Julian Alton. Now he's gone off track and come back on. Looks like he's okay now, but Julian really starting to struggle. Not sure if he's maybe feeling a little fatigue or if he's kind of angry from maybe messing up a couple times. And as you know, if you get out here and you get angry, you can easily mess up more and more. And the worst thing you can do as a driver is add more problems to your issues. So the VOR guys struggling on this second stint. Gavin Sanders has had some issues. Julian Alton has had some issues. And already we're down to 10 cars on the lead lap in this race. Isaac Morris is putting them up and laying them down. The champ is definitely doing his thing tonight. I think Julian's having some blinking issues now too or something. We got a fight here for the 11th spot. Look at this battle. 4 cars all right here under a blanket. They're all a lap down, but they're still going to do it. Yeah, I don't know if you could put no jinx in there, Gary. That's kind of like red punch buggy, no punch back. You damn well know you're going to get a punch back. You punched the right guy. Austin saw right here. You see Gavin going to sneak it to the inside. It makes the pass as Julian Alton is on pit road at lap 32. So Julian struggling mightily all of a sudden here in these last couple laps in this 31 car. See what happens. Right side or all tires going on. I think a NASCAR already. Now Julian's already doubled his total laps in the series this year. He has had some struggles on the ovals. But Julian's simple pit stop there. 7.8 seconds. Oh! Comes out on pit road right in front of the 55 of Combs, who had to lock it up. Austin Saar apparently having issues in the 4. He went off a second ago and had to jump to the pits. So did Jim Herrick. What happened to old Jimmy? Jim having a great doing a great job tonight for someone who hasn't ran a lot of races recently. In his Globex Racing Paints mobile as he gets off there at the museum, spins it around, and oh, he clips Austin Saar, and that's what sends him to pit road. And apparently we got a car off to 64 over in turn 14. Oh, that is never good. He's nosed off right at the hill, a very blind section. Now, if that iRacing guy over there was doing his proper job, he'd be waving some kind of flag or shooting flares or something to let them know up on the hill, hey, there's a car spun out. So Concha able to get it back going. Looks like Austin Saar going to come back on the track after getting damage fixed on that number 4. Jim Herrick still on pit road. There's Isaac's lead now up to 10 seconds. And this race, of course, is brought to you by the Formula Indy Series. Of course, they're hosting the Grand Prix at Barber tonight. The Formula Indy Series is going to be kicking off in May. You'll be able to see broadcasts over on Raceverse, which is also a streaming network like myself. Good people there with, of course, Matt and Gary, who's going to be on the play-by-play for these races starting in May. At 9 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday nights. Make sure you're checking out. It's a mixture of IndyCar and F1 circuits that they'll be racing. But Gary Godso, who, by the way, in this promo, Gary, called legendary. I mean, Paul Page status up here, my friend, or Bobby Unser. I mean, you're up there with these guys here. Just saying. Got the word legendary right here. But Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock for that great series that's going to be kicking off. Race number 1, I cannot remember off the top of my head. I remember seeing their schedule, but Gary, help me if you're still there, and let me know that track. Bob Jenkins, another legendary announcer who we can't help but think about, going through some unfortunate cancer battle right now. Bob, one of the voices there at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, along with Dave Calabro. Been there for the last few years. And Bob Jenkins, we could say the voice behind ESPN, we'll say too, when it comes to broadcasting back in the 80s and 90s. I know Paul Page was more of an IndyCar guy. Indy Road Course, thank you, Gary. May the 4th, but Paul Page was mainly the voice of IndyCar back in the 80s and 90s, but at that time, Bob Jenkins was over on NASCAR, and he brought pretty much ESPN to NASCAR racing. And then, of course, you remember the end of his career, he was with NBC Sportsnet, and was with them until 2013, I believe it was, when Lee Diffie took over. But Bob Jenkins, a voice that, I mean, as soon as you hear it, you know who it is. Put it like that. And, but definitely thinking about him. I mean, I know his wife a few years back passed away of cancer, and now for Bob to be battling that same thing has got to be tough. So thoughts and prayers with that gentleman there. Craig Forsythe trying to hold on to his wheels here, as here comes Julian Alton, going to try to pass him for the 9th spot. Pounce here, and gave the spot. Thankfully, that could have been dangerous going side by side in that corner. I'm sure that would have that's a dangerous move. Julian dives it into turn 13 and makes the move. Craig Forsythe being very conscientious of where he is on the track. That's a big word. Of where he is on the track, and gets Julian by. Wow. I remember you telling me that story, Gary. I got to participate in the pit road contest for media up in Indianapolis. They would always hold it the Wednesday before the 500. They would bring in media members from radio and TV. And I was up in Kokomo at the time, and I was working at Z92.5 as the program director and on-air person there in Kokomo. And we would go down and participate in the pit stop contest. And got to do it for 2 years. The first year, the MC of the event, I forget his name, Mike. It's the guy from IndyCar that always does the I'm knocking things over here, don't mind me. He does the IndyCar podium stuff. I forget his name, Mike something. He's a popular radio voice. Did it the first year, and then the second year was Bob Jenkins. And I didn't get a chance to talk to Bob because obviously he was doing the contest, but that was really cool to be a part of there. So we should see the final round of pit stops coming up here momentarily for these cars, especially for those who pitted around lap 20. And oh, by the way, I did get to say it, that first year, I was more a spectator taking photos of the pit stop contest, but the second year, they talked me into it, and I was a tire changer. And I think you'll see Forsythe come to pit road. Here he comes. And right behind him comes Gavin. Gavin was catching him for position. Mike King, thank you. But, yeah, that second year I did all my practice beforehand and stuff and was doing okay, actually. And we lost that, we lost in the first round because we had a lug nut fly off of the gun. And I'm going to clarify right now, it was not my gun that it flew off of. I did my part on the tire change. Side by side here, somebody better figure it out. The cone about became a victim of that. So Isaac Morris leads Alex Van de Sant, still 9.6 seconds. Isaac has led all the non-pit stop laps so far in this race. And Thomas Geisler with issues. He has gone around over here in turn 5. The coolest experience of that, by the way, was driving my car out on the speedway. That track, though it's banked very little, when you get out on it, it's not little. So, which makes you think when you get out to like Bristol or Texas, a track like that, you can only imagine driving a car on a banking that way when you're on a bank like Indianapolis and your car wants to turn left. Matt Houston on pit road, Oscar Fredrickson, Coogan, Combs, all on pit road. Also Estrada, Sadiq, and Musselman. These guys all leaving pit lane with their final set of alternate red tires. Or I guess today you call them the prime tires, technically. Alex Van de Sant to pit road. Oh, and he hits the wall over in the corner. The third car to do that now. If anybody's wanting to do a sponsorship at Barber Motorsports Park, that part of the wall might be a great place. Tires and fuel for the 17. And he is going to be on pit road for a minute. So Nat is going to hand second place to Cohen Evans. Let's go back to that pit stop at Alex Van de Sant. Unfortunately, I got to rewind it because it doesn't give me a crash mark on that, so or else I could rewind it. Goes in the corner too hot there, and bam. As Isaac Morris comes to pit road. The leader in, and that'll hand the lead to Cohen Evans. There goes Alex out of his pit lane. Loses about, 50 seconds or so on that pit stop? .2-second stop for Morris. Let's see what Cohen does here. If he tries to go as fast as he can here for these couple laps. He is kind of out of reach right now as one car goes off the track there. But at least Cohen can try to make it closer and maybe force Isaac to make a mistake, kind of like he did Tuesday night at Mid-Ohio in the TI race, leading on the final lap and spins it out over turn 5. The key there is you got to put all the pressure on Isaac to even have a chance for that to happen. Alex Van de Sant's going to come back to pit road, so unfortunately that car just damaged too much. And Alex will pit out of the 9th position. Car sliding wide off the track over there. Joel Harleman, who's actually in the top 10 tonight. So nice job by Joel. His son spotting him, helping him out. And Thomas Geisler coming up on the back of Harleman right now for position. Oh, easy. Oh, and Geisler spins it. Did Harleman chop him? Oh, he gets clipped by somebody in that race first car. Did the wing pop back in place? Apparently it did. Did I say Cohen? I meant to say Isaac if I did. What was I talking about there? Sorry, I missed it, Gary. I'm too distracted by things anymore. Squirrel! We're waiting on Cohen Evans to make his final pit stop. He pitted at lap 24. So if he goes another 24 laps, you're looking at him coming to pit road in about 4 more laps. Last time by a 109.2. Isaac with a 110. You know, Cohen's got clean air, so go as hard as you can here. We'll see lap times this time by at the line. Cohen stays out another lap. Now another thing to watch here is something Gary's taught me well. The old the short fill. By going only 12 laps, you don't have to fill the tank up as much. So Cohen might be able to gain time on Isaac that way. Unfortunately, Isaac just ran in a very Isaac Morris-like lap, a 108.32, fastest lap of the race. I feel like we've seen this before. Cohen Evans out leading, trying to go as hard as he can, and Isaac Morris just steps on you like an ant. It's like that cockroach that you find accidentally in your house or something, or someone's house. You let it matriculate for a little bit, and then right before you whammo with a shoe. That's kind of what Isaac just did to Cohen. I say that as Isaac running into lap traffic here of Joel Harleman, and Harleman's going to come to pit road. I believe I heard him call it out. Yeah, there he goes. Well, that's not going to help Isaac a little bit. That time by Cohen a 9:60 and 8:67 with Morris, and he got caught up in traffic. Out the rear of the one. Isaac on push to pass also. I think he's trying to run another burner here. Oh, Isaac, look out. Locks it up in front of a lap car. Makes contact with him. Breaks his rear wing. I'm trying to see who that was. It was the 18, I think. Was it Geisler that he ran into? Trying to see who Alex Van der Sant's come back to pit road, and unfortunately he's taking his car behind the wall. Trying to see. I think it was Thomas Geisler. Let's see here. Okay, this is where Geisler spins. Never mind. It was Concha, apparently. Must be this moment right here. No, he just goes off track there. So, no, I'm not sure. I'm trying to find it, but now Cohen's on pit road. So, let's jump to the front here. Cohen Evans on pit road for the final time. Oh, and Isaac just runs a 107.9 at that time by. So the final stops are done. 12 laps to go in this Formula Indy Series Grand Prix at Barber. Some kind of angry drivers in the sim here, I'm noticing. I know one guy mentioned something about Isaac driving through him, so I'm guessing that would be Concha talking. I couldn't tell. I'm going to keep it off the air because you never know when a word might slip. Julian Alta on pit road. His final stop. Julian doing a 3-stopper. And he pulls away. Julian going to come out in the 6th position. So Julian actually doing a pretty good job of coming back after having some issues earlier in this race. He tries to hold off the 18 at Geisler right there for 6th. So Cohen Evans 21 seconds back now in the 3rd position. Pretty much wide open right there. A little burp of the throttle. How about the guy in 3rd? Oscar Fredrickson. I know Robert Sadler made a comment earlier in chat saying he would love to see Oscar get a podium. Well, look at this. Oscar Fredrickson, 10 laps to go. P3 right now. Looking for a podium. Matt Houston in 4th. Dakota DeMay in the 5th position. So the Raceworks guys looking pretty solid there. 4th, 5th, and 7th. And this fight is actually not over right here. Julian Alton trying to hold off Thomas Geisler. Right. Hey, it's only a jinx if you believe it. And appreciate everybody watching tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're on the track for 400 now. We hit 300 subscribers. I actually did some research this past week and saw that we have been on the air now on Captain TV on YouTube for a little over 9 months total. And we have gone over 300. We're near 350 subscribed viewers already. And as I mentioned before, thank you, because as I said, I don't do this for me. I do this, the only part for me I do this is the fun part. Other than that, I do it for the viewers, and I do it for the races. Because I feel like for a lot of us, this is the closest thing we ever get to actual real-life racing. Some of us, we do get the benefit and the pleasure of actually going out there and racing, and for some of us, we don't get that honor. Well, for me, my goal when I was younger was to be a race car driver. But as you know, when I got out of diapers, wasn't in a race car at that point, so I never got the chance. But one person told me one day, as I was a 9-year-old announcing a Pee Wee League playoff football game in Florida, like, dude, you might have a future in this whole announcing thing. So 26 years later, here I am, announcing a simulator game, which is cool, but you know what? It's the closest I've gotten to real life so far, and I'm not giving up on that goal. You see Julian starting to stretch it out now on Thomas there. And yes, you heard that correctly, by the way. I was 9 years old calling a Pee Wee League football game. Can you imagine that? Think about that for a second. 9-year-old. Julian sliding in the corner. Hey, how about this? Julian Altina, fastest lap of the race, a 107.69. Where'd that come from? Oh, and somebody just destroyed a car. Jim Herrick over the hill there. That car's junked. I look up and I saw pieces flying. I have no clue. Is that an actual company? Oh boy. Oh! Well, unfortunately, Jim, we're going to have to go on board with you for that one. There we go. Over. Oh, he just gets too wide right there. Gets over to go. Oh boy, into the Armco hard. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you got it on the rear wing of all the VOR cars, I believe, have this burrito sponsor. And if we're going to properly name it, then we're going to go off of the Austin Powers way. It's the Fat Bastard burrito. Six laps to go for Isaac Morris. Now 5. As he has led pretty much all the green flag laps in this race. Appreciate Brian Kennedy watching. I haven't done any shout-outs tonight, so let me get this out of the way. I see Dan up there was watching earlier, Dan Mac 4569. Of course, Robert Sadler watching, one of the co-admins of the series. Gary, appreciate him watching. You know he's at a birthday party. Hopefully nobody knows you're watching. Coming up here at 9:45, in a little less than an hour, will be. You'll see how I can go from Alabama to Las Vegas in the snap of fingers. USRC Grand National Series, the Sunset Arctic Games. Yes, the same Sunset Arctic Games at Dakota DeMed. Sponsors. He sponsors the series. Will be running their Grand National Series coming up at Las Vegas here under the lights tonight at 9:40 or at 10 o'clock. The race will start. So once you're done here, if you want to hang out, and we'll go get ready for that race after this. And a fantastic road race here. One of two we'll see. Of course, Road America will be here in 3 weeks. Next week it is the Legacy Phoenix Raceway, back then known as Phoenix International Raceway, for racing 150 laps around that 1 mile oval. Will be the shortest track that they will run this season. We got a battle here for the 12th position as Alex Van de Sant is still fighting to the outside with all that damage on this car. His race is falling apart, but he ain't giving up. And he goes by Michael Schoonert for the 12th position. Isaac Morris out of push to pass, so he's been pushing pretty hard. He's got 23 seconds up on Cohen right now down to 22. And now this battle carries on here as Julian Alton is there behind Thomas Geisler, and somehow Julian must have had some issues, because wasn't Thomas just way behind? Yeah, Julian went off track here. What happened to Julian to cost him that position? Goes off track right there near pit road. And that allows Geisler to go by right there. And now he has hawked him back down. And now the fight is on here for the 5th spot, or 6th spot, sorry. Looking at the back. Julian, look at that run he gets. Two laps to go for Isaac. He's already in the turn 5 section right now. Crossover move. Oh, and Geisler gets a little loose. Under braking there. I thought Julian was going to try to do a crossover move. Now they're both in the grass. Julian's got a run, and he's not on push to pass. Down to turn 5 here. Oh, Julian locks it up. Oh, and then he gets loose. He locked it up through the whole entire chicane. Meanwhile, final lap, Isaac Morris is on his final lap of this race. 2.2 miles to go. And the champion will go back to victory lane for the first time this season. Car going off the track here as Isaac goes through the museum section. And he's starting to do his little weave already. If you have never watched a race of Isaac Morris, as he's leading and coming to the finish, he starts weaving. As he is going to go around the final 2 corners, it'll be his 4th career victory, and the champ goes back to victory lane this season at Barber Motorsports Park in the Formula Indy Series Grand Prix at Barber. And Julian has gone back past Thomas for position. As right behind him here comes Cohen Evans. He'll take the 2nd position away. And there goes Gavin Sanders out in the kitty litter. Or is that Oscar? I'm sorry, that's Oscar in the kitty litter. No, it ain't. That Oscar's right there. That's Gavin. Sorry for the scare, Oscar fans. Now, the good news, though, is I do have replay tendencies, and I'm able to go back and show the pass made by Julian. As we were watching that fight. Gosh darn it, I hate when it does this. There we go. It happens in turn 5. Let's watch. Give me 1 second here. Let me go to a better camera view. Here it is. Down turn 5, crosses him over. Probably was on push to pass there. Makes the move. Clean pass. Geisler gives him a squeeze, but nothing terrible. Good clean pass, and then Julian pulls away. To the win. Or to the 6th place finish for him. But for Isaac Boris, it's to the win. Isaac on the weave and gonna burn it down here, I'm assuming. Of course, he does behind my camera. Thanks, buddy. Oscar Fredrickson does get that podium finish. Matt Houston 4th. And Dakota DeMay finishes out the top 5. 5 cars finishing on the lead lap when it's all over with. I think Isaac's going to burn the wheels off it here in a second. Isaac obviously pretty happy and excited about that. As let's take a look at the finishing order. Maybe, if it lets me. There we go. I'm like, why is it not cooperating? Isaac Morris wins the thing, and there's a photo of him down there at the bottom. Cohen Evans 2nd, 23 seconds back. Oscar Fredrickson 3rd. Matt Houston. Dakota DeMed finishes in the 5th position. Julian Altina finished in 6th. Thomas Geisler. Gavin Sanders. Craig Forsyth. Joel Harleman. Top 10 for him. Nice job. Christian Jasper finishing 11th. Alex Van Desant 12th. Michael Schoonert 13th. Austin Saar 14th. Benjamin Combs 15th. Shane Coogan 16th. Christian Alagio 17th. Antonio Estrada finishing in the 18th position. Jim Herrick 19th. And 20th is Anthony Concha. 21st, Nicholas Sadiq. 22nd, Tyler Coogan. 23rd, A.J. Musselman. He will not be the point leader, leaving Barber. And 24th, unfortunately, Krista Nelson involved in an early wreck on lap number 1. She only got 3 laps completed tonight. And last but certainly not least, Lewis Woodall in the 25th position. So, as the champ is pulling into victory lane right now, celebrating win number 4. And we will talk to him right now once I get the stats right. I was trying to type, and as I mentioned, one-man show here. There we go. Let's go get Isaac right now. This is called stalling, for those who don't know in broadcasting. As Isaac Moore says, officially now join us here from Victory Lane. Isaac, congratulations on the win. A race that, well, it seemed like almost bit you a little bit there towards the end. You had a little bit of drama there in one of the chicanes with the lap car, but in the end, a dominant performance by you.
Yeah, it was a really good race. Lap traffic was a bit of a pain, but you just got to take it one car at a time. And just unfortunately, I think there was just like a miscommunication between me and that lap car. because going into the fast left right, there was like 2 seconds between us, and then he dipped down over the crest for the next quick left right, and the next thing I knew, I'm dipping down as well, and he's right there in front of me, so I had to like react really quickly, and then like I was putting my car in like a position, where I wanted to go, and he just didn't move, and then in the end, ended up hitting him. But other than that, like the race went pretty smoothly. It, the track's like really good. I love this track, and when I saw it on the schedule, I was like, yep, this is a perfect track to get another win, and I'm just glad I managed to execute that tonight.
And you're starting off your season strong, as I misspoke, and I guess this is what happens when I take a week off myself. I forgot that you had won Michigan, so it's your second win of the season. And in case they can't tell by the scoring pylon, you won this race. I mean, it's got ones all the way down the board. But great job out there this evening. Did you feel like from the start that you had a car that you knew could compete for this win?
It was difficult to say because obviously we did the 6-hour testing last week, and only like 9 people showed up for that, and then in practice on Thursday, only another like 11 people showed up. So it was really difficult to judge like who was going to be like really quick and who was going to be like midfield and possibly at the back and whatnot. Like I knew Cohen and Oscar, like the usuals like Matt, Dakota, Julian were going to be up there. But it was just difficult to say to think like who's going to show up on the day and really pull it out of the bag. But yeah, the car felt great. The setup was actually pretty good. And yeah, that's I don't know what else to say. Sorry.
No, that's okay, and it's a great start to the season for you, obviously, with the 2 wins here early in this season. Talk about the momentum here. As you got that one number on your car, that is not the easiest thing to back up, and so far, 2 out of 3 races, that's a good way to get the season going.
Yeah, so I was looking at the results from last season, and if you look at the results last season, I crash out in race 1. Race 2, I win. Race 3, I win. And then I go on to win the championship. So I'm like, is season 3 repeating itself possibly? But like obviously like going into Phoenix now, I don't think I've ever driven Phoenix in the IR18, so it's going to be like a really new and different experience for myself and possibly a lot of other people too. But I am looking forward to Phoenix. It's been a pretty good track for me in the PM18s, so I'm really excited to go up a few levels and take the IR18 around Phoenix and see what I can do.
And not to mention,
run through.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. Not to mention, it's the old Phoenix, so this one doesn't have the asphalt in the infield; it's all grass. Is that gonna, you think, play any kind of role in this race, knowing that it's an old configuration?
At the end of the day, I think even though it's an old configuration, like I think this Phoenix was chosen for a reason, because the one that has the asphalt on the infield, or like on the dog leg, I think it's just gonna be easier to control the field, so like everyone's sticking to like the same part of the circuit and not like cutting it, because I know you can cut it quite a bit and gain quite a bit of an advantage. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be an interesting race, and it's going to take a few days of practice to get up to speed there.
All right, well, great job out there. Your second win of the season, not your first, and your fourth series win. I do know that for sure. But as always, send shout-outs to whoever you like to.
I'd like to give a shout-out to Gary, because Gary Godso, because he asked me to be a part of 5150 Performance Motorsports this season, and I think without him I wouldn't be here doing season 4. So yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to him. You know, he's a great team boss, and just like to give a shout out to all the sponsors on the car. Also like to give a shout out to Julian as well. You know, and everyone else behind the scenes for they run a great league, and you know it's really good to be a part of a league that's up and coming, and you know it'd be interesting to see where this league goes in 3 to 4 seasons time.
Yeah, it's definitely growing, and part of it's the good people around it and stuff, and one of those people are you. Congrats on the win, and we will see you next week in Phoenix.
Hey, thank you, Chris.
Absolutely, brother. Isaac Morris winning the race, as I see a bunch of people joining us in the booth or in the waiting area. But we're going to talk to our second place finisher, Cohen Evans, who gets his second top 3 of the season. From what I remember note-wise, as he won the race, of course, the first one of the season at Homestead. And here you come back now on the road course and get yourself a second-place race for you, Cohen. Obviously, a tough race for you out there, but you did a great job and got yourself a great finish.
Yeah, it was quite a long one. I thought I was going to be more tired after the race than what I am, surprisingly, with all these high G, long duration corners. But at the end of the race, finished P2 and feel pretty good about it.
Are you trying to say you're ready for another 60 laps at Barber?
Maybe not tonight. Maybe.
Well, hey, let's talk about the pace. Obviously, you did a little bit of a different strategy tonight. You instead of pitting at 20 and 40 like most of the cars did, you decided to stretch it out and I assume run max fuel, which got you to 24 and 48. Was that something where you were just trying to short fill on that last pit stop to maybe gain some time?
Not really. I mean, I guess that's kind of how it worked out in the end. But in testing, I found that like the first couple laps on red, the car was like super understeery and super slow. So I thought if I could stay out, I could maybe undercut or overcut them with the faster tires, and then once I got ahead of them, I could try and hold them up, because this track isn't very easy to pass it.
Well, you did a great job this evening, Cohen. Congratulations on the second place run for you here at Barber. Good momentum as you carry that into Phoenix next week. Send shout-outs whoever you like to, bud. Shout
out LNC Gear, Isaac for winning, obviously. He's super fast every week. LNCgear.com, Jim Herrick. And I'd like to shout out my teammate, Alex Van de Sant. He didn't have a great night, but I watched some of his laps, and I think he helped me improve a little bit. Even though he should have, I think, finished in front of me.
Well, great job tonight, Cohen. Congratulations on your P2, and we'll talk next week, bud.
Yep.
Absolutely. Cohen Evans finishing in the second place position here at Barber Motor. How about called it Mid-Ohio? I about did it again. But, hey, how about this guy finishing in the third position tonight? Mr. Oscar Fredrickson. I know you had one guy at least cheering on you in the booth this evening, or at least watching, I should say, from the booth, and that was Mr. Robert Sadler. He was cheering you on, hoping you'd get yourself on the podium. He was trying not to jinx you, but looky there, Mr. Fredrickson. You're on the podium here. Third place run for you here at Barber.
Yeah, really happy to finish on the podium, and pretty good race.
And talk about that a little bit, because, I mean, you were kind of quietly just working your way up through the field when it was all over with. I mean, you started back in the 9th position, so you were just at the beginning, I guess you would call it mid-pack, and there were some spins left and right and stuff like that, and you had to, use some strategy and some accidents to take advantage to move up.
Yeah, quality didn't go too well for me. I probably was like a few tenths at least of what I should have done on like a better lap. I messed up both my fast laps. So I know I probably had better pace than the guys in front, so I just tried to drive the first few laps safely, and then try and make some moves, and then I got lucky with some guys crashing out.
Well, talk about this momentum for you to come back out tonight and get this top 3 finish. I know race 1 is one you don't want to remember. I'm sure to you it probably didn't even exist. But to get this momentum here to work your way up there in the points a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is really crucial to get some momentum for the rest of the season. Like you said, race 1, my VR died on on the restart or on the start right away, and then race 2, I got disconnected. For 2 really poor races, so this is good for the momentum of the rest of the season.
Well, Oscar, you did a fantastic job tonight. Happy for you, man. Send shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah, I want to shout out my team. I think both Gavin and Julian would have finished ahead of me, but they both got involved in incidents. They both had way better pace than me in practice, so shout out to those guys, and just happy to pitch out the points.
Well, great job tonight, Oscar. Yeah, congratulations, man. Great job on your third.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oscar Fredrickson finishing in the third position tonight. So congratulations to him as we get ready to close up the stream here and head over to Vegas for the Cup race we got coming up, or Cup race, the Xfinity cars, or the Grand National Series from USRC be coming up. For some reason I moved into that channel, don't ask why. Yeah, we'll be getting ready to go to Phoenix for this series coming up here next Saturday night at 7:25. We'll go live for qualifying and maybe talk to somebody or two. We'll see when it's all over with. But I was just doing some math in my head real quickly, and basically, you had 3 drivers win tonight, or 3 drivers finish in the top 3, combined age of 64 years old. You had a 21-year-old in victory lane, a 20-year-old finished second, and a 23-year-old finishing third. Do the math, that's like a 21-and-a-half-year-old average. So the young guys definitely dominating here, which mostly they are young guys in this league. But it shows you when it comes to the iRacing thing, the young guys are kicking some tail right now. So great job to everybody a part of this league. Fantastic racing tonight. And again, shout out to TrackCam for Gourmets. Of course, if you're looking for cameras that are supporting ovals and road courses and dirt racing and so much more, not to mention VR and fan experience cameras. So like if you're sitting in a grandstand somewhere, you can actually set up a camera package to watch a race in the grandstands. Check out these guys here at TrackCam22.com. They've been designing cameras since 2012. They were the providers of tonight's cameras that you saw here for the broadcast. Thanks to VOR for allowing me to be a part of this. Also to Robert, to Julian, who thinks he snuck into my channel and doesn't know I really know he's here. And also shout out to the fans and to all the drivers for putting on a pretty good show tonight. So with that being said, as always, remember, as we sign off, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!
Let go of fear, you're holding the fire smoldering, it's starting all over again. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, burning inside. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, yeah. Every time I grip the wheel, I begin to feel I know what I've been for. Why not go right? You got a fix for me. Get strong.